right. I got a question. For Sheila.
Sure.
While we wait for you guys to type some more questions into the live chat, Sheila, you just finished your new book, and you've been working on that thing for a year and a half. I mean, describe how you feel. Like, how does it feel to be complete with that, and kind of what's next on your docket now that you're done?
I feel excited. I'm believing it's going to save lives. I'm hoping and believing it'll reach. I'm believing millions, even though that sounds big. But I want to see. I think public opinion can reach further than any legal system, and it feels like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. It's been very painful to read all the details, remembering the torture they put Rob through. But I'm encouraged that there is destiny, and he's not dead. He's with Yeshua right now, and I rest knowing that he's with all his favorite characters: Abraham, Moses, Paul, the most misunderstood person in the scripture, and I believe they're actively working towards our future. So I feel like I was told to write a book and to expose it all. It's a tell-all. There's nothing held back. I want to thank Alan and Roberta Stalvey, who will be on some of these shows with me, who helped me a great deal. I mean, 12-hour days for months, and it was a big task. So I feel like
because you had to
happy about it.
Relive it every day.
Well, 5,000 pages, and Jeremiah helped me. There was no signature. Rob had no signature in this, and we got the record twice. There was no signature, and so Jeremiah and I decided to run up to the hospital, and there was a little square that had a witness name, and so we just went up there casually and asked to talk to the witness, and we found her. And why don't you share what she said to us, Jeremiah?
It's
in the book.
About the signature?
Yeah.
She said she had written
on 3 forms.
Verbal. And I was like, verbal? You can't just give verbal consent unless it's proven. Like, you have to prove that it's verbal consent. And we even asked them, and they said we'd have to have an audio recording of my dad, Rob Skiba, saying, "Go ahead and put me on the it's a ventilator."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because he was saying no 17 times, and so there had to be consent, and there was no signature of his, no signature of mine. I had medical power of attorney. We found the literal witness on the form, and she just said that she signed verbal, and they said her supervisor heard us and came over and said, "What are y'all talking about?" And we told her, and they both said in unison, maybe he was incoherent, which doesn't make sense
because he was texting you.
He was calling
after the fact that she wrote verbal. So,
and if he was incoherent, then they should have had my signature, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all.
And they checked the box spouse. It's all weird, and it's like the biggest true crime story that you could ever see. Like, if you ever watch those documentaries of, like, I think they call them the angels of death, the doctors that kill these patients or nurses, and they get some kind of high from it. And that's really what it was like. I mean, and just having to sit there and watch it every day, watch what my mom went through, not being able to get in, was probably the hardest experience in my life.
Another thing that they do, which I've heard across the board of other people that have experienced loved ones that have died, is the isolation. They isolate you. They only allow 1 visitor per day. Jeremiah never got to say goodbye. They said unless he was near death, I couldn't have anybody else come. And they never all the way up until he died, they didn't let me have visitors. They keep you isolated. They have good cop, bad cop. One doctor always saying overall stable to keep you off your guard. And then the other doctors forcing a tube down his throat, tying him down. They literally tied him down, put him in restraints. And then 21 days. And I'll live with that nightmare for the rest of my life. I don't know what they did to him, but I do want to know who cut the wristband off of his wrist. He had them put a DNI on his wrist, and somebody had to cut that off in order to do what they did. So someday I hope to find that out.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. I think Rob was murdered, but yeah, it was definitely murder. It was not just murder. It was premeditated murder. And I know that for a fact, because every story I've heard of other family members, it's to a T, the same way, the same words. I don't know if they got a script. I don't know if they were emailed. I'd love to find those details out. But yes, I believe it was premeditated murder, and I think we deserve justice. I'm praying for Nuremberg 2.0. The people that are still working in the hospitals know what they're doing, because and you'll see in the book, there are other nurses that have, consciences that have written, even the foreword is written by a nurse. I had to leave. A lot of people that couldn't kill people left. So the people that are still there are making tons of money, and they're still killing people. So we have it all recorded. Everything that I did was documented. I never thought Rob would die ever.
Neither.
Even the day he died, I wasn't ready. I thought he was strong enough. I never thought he would die, but they were being so hateful from the start, literally yelling at me that if I didn't put him on a vent, that he was going to die. That after that conversation, I recorded every single phone call I had with the nurses and doctors. And when I got in, I continued to do that because I wanted to share with Rob the hell that it had been, because he likes to he was a whistleblower. He liked to help people avoid catastrophes. He was trying to help people get prepared and get medical exemptions, and he could see the writing on the wall. So I was capturing all that in the hopes that after the nightmare was over, that we could use it to help people. Didn't think I would be losing him and then writing a book, but either way, I know that it's destiny. It's for a purpose, and I rest knowing that I walked in the Father's will, and this show is part of that. And so I thank all of you for encouraging us and helping us get the word out. I will say, if any of you out there could send a review to Amazon, it helps them to boost the book, and we get more eyes on it. The more people that leave reviews, the more people that they suggest the book to. So if you could please leave a review if you have time, I would really appreciate it.
Somebody said, can't wait to get Sheila's book. What do you suggest for anyone that might be in similar situation in the future? I'm so distrustful of doctors and hospitals, even more so now. Blessings to y'all.
Thank you for the super chat. And I have a great solution for it. And this was not by accident, but I had named my book before finding this website. It's called protocolkills.com. My book is The Protocol. I would like to partner with them because it's a great support to my book, and they have forms. They actually have a hotline where you can have somebody rescued out of a hospital. It's amazing. It's every resource you can imagine for this topic is there. They're still giving people remdesivir today, and that infuriates me. And so protocolkills.com, I'll put a link in the chat, but it's not part of my book. It just happened. We named the book before we learned about the site, but it's a great resource, and there's a ton of good information on the site, and they do rescues.
Oh, we got another question here. I can't see it. Could we click on that? Oh, here we go.
Can you guys get Dr. Malone or the other doctor that speaks out? Dr. McCullough's from Dallas. I've sent them tons of stuff. Hoping we can.
He's also best friends with Dr. Bartlett. Like if you go on Twitter and you type in Dr. Bartlett, it's always from Dr. Mercola. I'm surprised he's still on Twitter, but I guess Twitter is somewhat free again. But
we're open to talk to any of these people if they have the time. We're going to be sending complimentary books to Dr. Artis and all the other ones that are publicly speaking out against it when the books come. So we're excited about that. If you guys have any
connections with them and could help us, that'd be great.
Yeah, spread the word out. If you have any favorite truther podcasters or anybody who,
please, yes.
Please suggest they have Sheila on. Mention the book, mention the story to them, and see if they'll contact her for a interview. And what email is it that they would go to?
For the protocol that kills, it's for just that purpose. It's Sheila Skiba at proton.me.
Did you know that a government-incentivized hospital protocol has led to the deaths of untold numbers of unsuspecting people? The Association of American Physicians and Surgeons noted, "We now see government-dictated medical care at its worst in our history, since the federal government mandated these ineffective and dangerous treatments, and then created financial incentives for hospitals and doctors to use only those approved and paid for approaches." The book, The Protocol That Kills, exposes the lethal regimen adopted by hospitals to maximize profits at the expense of patients' lives. This exhaustive expose provides a first-hand account of the protocol in action as it was invoked on an otherwise strong and healthy 52-year-old Rob Skiba, who was diagnosed with a viral infection by the admitting hospital. Within 40 days, this valiant Army veteran who had sworn to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, had fallen at the hands of a government-incentivized domestic enemy. This over 400-page true crime story uncovers every aspect of this lethal protocol in action, despite the protests of Rob Skiba and his wife. It includes disheartening text messages from Rob, who was locked away from his wife because she was forbidden to enter the hospital in the name of the protocol. Lawfully recorded detailed conversations his wife had with doctors, therapists, nurses, and hospital staff. Numerous pages extracted from the over 5,000-page hospital record that exposed the protocol that led to his tragic death. The testimony of a medical expert who provided his detailed analysis of the case. Invaluable and timely insights of a legal counsel who provides the story behind the story by providing crucial details and evidence, along with over 100 citations from clinical studies, medical journals, federal regulations, and relevant books and articles that prove Rob did not die of natural causes, but due to the perpetrator's insistence that he follow the mandated and inhumane protocol that kills. As Richard Bartlett, MD, says, this book shares a wealth of critical insights that will greatly aid in preventing future needless losses of life. The purpose of this book is to sound an alarm of a clear and present danger, as this lethal protocol is still being used against patients in hospitals all across America, and to provide you with essential insights that can help save your life or the life of someone you love. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Get a copy today at theprotocolthatkills.com.